Hey friends, it is I, your friendly neighborhood, Gabe the Babe. I just wanted to hop on here really quick as I am editing this podcast to flag a few potential trigger warnings. We do cover in this episode some instances of social media that depict self harm. And we also dive into a story about me getting sick, and so for anyone who could potentially be triggered by any of those topics, I wanted to just do a quick disclaimer and say listener discretion is advised. If any of these topics are going to be bothersome to you, please do what's right for you and just give this episode a pass. No harm, no foul. We want laughs and wellness in this community only. I do like a quick, little disclaimer before I dive into the story about me getting sick, but I just also wanted to hop on right before the episode starts and just let you guys know that's what's happening. For those who stick around, enjoy this episode. Hello, my name is Gabe the Babe.
Otherwise known as Ellie.
Ellie Presco.
I am Nina Arnone.
Yeah, you are. And welcome to Office Hours. Welcome back, Arnone.
Greetings.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Love to hear that.
The lighting in this room can't figure itself out, so.
What's going on? The power outage is happening early? Do you hear the, Simpsons predicted like a mass outage in 2025 because they also predicted that Trump will die this year. Oh my God. I applied. Did you hear my phone ring?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Allow me to just pick this up for a second. Never call me again. I have been oh my God. Honestly, it is my fault. But so I am not off my parents' health insurance yet because I am just a little baby. But come spring, I will be off my parents' insurance because I will be 26. And so I've been preemptively got on an insurance plan that so the day that I'm off my parents' insurance, this new plan starts. Yeah. And so I was perusing, shopping around different little insurance, and I wanted some quotas to compare plans based on my area and stuff.
Quotes.
They're quotas.
Quotes.
They're not quotes, they're quotas.
A quota is like a certain amount of things you need to fill us,
Is it quota or quote when you're talking about an estimate? No. You know what Siri said? Fucking Phyllis.
Phyllis?
Unprompted. Hold on. Is it quota or quote when you're talking about an estimate? It's a quote.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Like when affirmative action was a thing.
Right.
Schools had to meet a quota of certain demographics.
Yeah. R.I.P. to that.
Yeah, but that's what a quota is. You
Yeah.
have to reach a certain level of each factor, whatever you decide it is. Quote is, how much are you going to charge me?
Yeah.
Quote me a number.
I want to be quoted instead. Cover me, please, for everything.
So
anyway, I asked for quotes. And I think I filled out on maybe 3 different websites requests for quotes. Mm-hmm. I am not exaggerating when I say that I have been getting over 100 calls a day from random numbers being like, we're following up about your request for a quote.
What websites were you on?
Government websites, all for mass.gov and so it's these. So now I'm
phone number from them.
Yeah, and they spread it around like fucking STDs, and now everyone who's anyone has my phone number, and it's just listen,
You're the belle of the ball, and they
We
all want your
can't
attention.
we can't say that government workers are lazy people who do nothing, because these motherfuckers are scrambling to meet their quota of calls for the day. So I'm
Save
so
there. Quick turnaround with knowledge of the definitions.
Listen, I grow very quickly. I'm a late bloomer, but once I fucking figure it out, it's too much. It's like my boobs in the 6th grade.
Oh, that was
Like,
funny.
I want boobs so badly, and then it was like, okay, that's good. That's good. That's enough. That's more than enough. That's enough slices.
Oh, that's funny.
So, but yeah, so it literally just been like getting call after call, and I feel bad in the sense of any nicety that I have has been graded away. Like, I'm not cursing at them, but you know, as was just demonstrated, I will pick up the phone and I will say, never call me again. And then I'll hang up and I'll block them.
Well, it's probably not even like government workers who are calling you. It's probably like other insurance ad type thing.
It's a whole mix. Yeah. It's just like, it started with the government, and then they gave it to other insurance agencies, and they all want a piece. And it's like, and now that I actually have the insurance plan figured out, I was, you know, foolishly idealistic that it would stop. It's maybe dropped down to 95 calls a day.
Can you block them?
Or
is it
yeah,
just numbers?
it's just different numbers, so I block them. It doesn't say like from an organization. It either says potential spam or in all caps healthcare without the E. So I'm like, I'm not looking for either Healthcare or Heathcar, so kindly be on your way. Thank you.
Well, yeah, that's the way it goes. It's all a business.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Well, congrats on figuring out your healthcare.
Thank you.
When you're on your own and stranded, left by the wayside.
Yeah, it feels good. I'm glad that there's not like a window of uninsured.
Yeah, who would do that?
Well, no, that's not what I mean.
That's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing for someone to do.
You are if you were a quote tattooed on someone's bicep, it would be "Do as I say, not as I do."
Hey!
I'm totally kidding. It would be former lover of Ronald Reagan. if we're really gonna learn. Listen, I learned what quote and quota means. You learned Ronald Reagan. A little problematic. Yeah. We all learn our things.
Yeah.
Some of us learn them when we're like freshly 19. Some of us learn them when we're about to turn 26. I won't explain which one applies to who.
I won't say who's who.
You'll have to figure it out yourself.
You'll have to guess who learned their lesson when. Best of luck, listeners.
The mystery is alive.
I started writing down things this week of things I wanted to talk to you about on the podcast so that I wouldn't forget them.
That's cute. I did too, actually.
Because there's just so many things that happen. I was like, I'll forget.
True.
But I was like, okay, well, I can't, because I wanted to talk to you about it, but I was like, I can't talk to her about it ahead of time because I want her to react here.
Oh, so excited.
First one?
Yes.
Role models. Role model. The singer, singular, one guy.
Not to be confused with J. Cole's role models.
Yes. Yeah. The singer. You know him?
Yeah.
I feel like he is the artist that Matt Healy wishes he was or wants to be.
Matty Healy of 1975.
1975.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. A take I truly have never heard before, so my brain is unable to process.
Because.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll give you my evidence. I learned a little bit of role model with his old stuff, all about the like doing drugs and stuff. What?
Yes. I'm laughing because after you said role models, now what's just in my head is uselessly just so every time you talk, that's playing in my head. But
his real name's Tucker, so I could say that.
Unfortunate. No, yeah. I prefer the other thing. It makes me happier.
So role model was dating Emma Chamberlain.
Yes.
who I don't know a significant amount, but no one doesn't know who she is, who is under 30, realistically.
I was
She
like, I
has
know one
done
person who doesn't know.
under 30, yeah. She has done a lot of, I guess, growth, but change in the last couple years, apparently. She left Hollywood. She stopped drinking.
Yeah.
She quit social media. She has her own coffee brand. She's getting more into like big business ventures. Exciting for her because she's cool. She was dating Role Model for a long time and they broke up last year or 2023. I don't know when, but he wrote an album about it called Kansas Anymore. And he recently came out with like an extended album of it. And so I was listening to it again, and the thing that I like noted the most about the album was that he took accountability. He knew what he did wrong. He knew why the relationship failed. And his whole thing was like, I just want the best for her. I will always love her. He talks about he has this one song called Slut Era Interlude.
Oh. I feel like I've heard this. Yeah.
But he has one song that's just about like don't settle for anything.
Yeah.
Like all these different things that just like you can tell how much he cared about her.
Yeah.
And he respects her choice and what she's doing, and he thinks it's great that she's like doing everything she's doing. This is all what I got from the album. I have no idea if any of this is true.
For sure.
But from what I've seen of him like online and social media, like he's not a bad person, and he's got good style, he's got a good attitude, he dances around, he's having fun. And I was like, that's literally what Matt Healy wished he was. Matty Healy.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
You see where I'm going with it? Because
I
they
do.
have the same vibe.
Yeah.
Similar-ish vibe. But Matty Healy was always performing. And then you find out, and he writes all these songs about how much he loves women and they're so tortured, and he's going to defend them and love them. And for years, we all were like, these are really good songs. Some of them genuinely are good songs.
Yeah.
And you find out that he's like bad person. He's not good to women. He doesn't care. It's all performance. And like,
totally.
And you can hear it in the songs too, because it's never about like him not being okay. It's about all of the horrors that happened to her before she met him.
Yeah. It's a very, those men, those like particular singers who like really paved the way for grunge era in the 2010s now that they are in their 30s and like their, I think, peak has since passed. Like it passed in 2013, some could argue. I'm also thinking of Jesse Rutherford because this is the exact same thing where it's like, oh my God, it's so dark and sexy and poetic. And then it's like, oh, you like infantize women. And and I feel like the men in music, particularly that genre, who I have a lot of admiration for, are like aware of their era and when it was. Like really great example of this is, I forget his name, but the lead singer of All American Rejects. Like he does like acting here and there. He like All American Rejects still tours. I saw them 2 summers ago. They were fucking fantastic. They played all their hits. They're still writing music. But the lead singer's like married and a dad and just like is just here to have a good time and is aware of when the hit happened.
Yeah, and he's not like trying to be young again. Like he's not
or relevant. Yeah.
Like he knows his niche.
Yeah. Same with Billie Joe Armstrong from Green Day. Same thing too. Like
I don't know. I was just watching because I listened to the album, a TikTok of his popped up because they're listening to Everything You Do. His TikTok is Tucker. I don't know. It just like it gave me like the same, not the same vibe as Matty Healy, but like similar.
The like aspiration.
That's when I had the thought of like, oh, he's much better than Matty Healy is. I like the music. I like the album a lot.
I agree with that. I think it's in addition to like it's a combination of many things. That and then also like a changing of the time. Like there's a lot as a culture that we were A-okay with talking about in 2013 to 2016 versus now. The amount of fucking Tumblr pictures of like girls with self-harm cuts that I like reposted at like fucking 15. Wild. Insane. No wonder they locked me up when they did. I'm surprised they didn't do it sooner. But like that was just like and they would literally like it would have like the song like on top of it that you'd play, and it'd be like Robbers from the 1975, and it'd be like a super hot emo boy like holding her while she's got these like self-harm marks on her. And I was literally like, scene, I need a man. That's what it is. That's what is wrong.
That's what's gonna solve this.
Everything will be fine if I just get a boyfriend with a cowlick. Then I'll be good. Devastating. Awful. So now that
10
we've
years
moved
later,
away
you're
from,
like, I feel like they're not. I feel like they're making it worse.
I feel yeah. I feel like every conversation that I'm having is what's causing this, actually.
Like, actually, it might just be better to not speak to them.
Yes. And it's because 10 years later, we've learned that those men are low-key incels.
Yeah. So, role model is definitely a part of this generation and a good part of it. Like, and that whole thing. I don't know what he would have been 10 years ago if he was an artist.
Matty Healy.
Apparently. But it's cool that he's like better.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I love a good role model.
Right?
Right?
Cringe. And he's got that one song, Oh Gemini, which, because she's a Gemini, and I always think of you, obviously. But he says, like, I heard you got sober. That's probably easier now that I'm not around.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the newer songs in this like longer edition is like, don't settle for what was bad. I know I wasn't great. Like, I know what I did to cause this. And,
love it.
And I hope you live a really good life.
Take notes, men.
Yeah.
Take notes.
Yeah. I would be really disappointed to find out that he is not actually this caring person.
It's happening left and right.
Have decided he is. I'm sure he makes mistakes. I mean, they broke up.
For sure.
So,
yeah.
All that. But it was taking responsibility.
Yeah.
For his own things. I think that was the big thing about it.
Right. I still haven't gotten over Cody Co. That was the biggest hit.
Yeah. I never was super into YouTube, so it didn't hit me as hard, but I do think it's crazy.
I loved him, and I loved his wife even more. Like, loved her. Like their sense of humor, like the way that they joked around, the way that they like seemed to single-handedly avoid like every YouTube drama ever until recently. I was like, it's still so sad. They were like, she was my comfort. And I know that it's so complicated because like that's your husband, that's the father of your child, but it's also like, and there's so much we don't know, i.e. parasocial relationships. So, you know, it's like, I would be very surprised if she was just finding out about this when the news broke.
I'm sure she knew.
And I just, God, it sucks. It's so complicated, but it's more than anything, it's really disappointing.
Yeah.
So I don't watch any of their, and it's also the way he came back was horrendous.
Very cringe.
It's so bad. He posts on his second channel. It's literally nothing. It's him preparing for a marathon. And then the last like 2 minutes are like, you probably heard some stuff about me. If you're sticking around, thanks. You're the real ones. That's it. That was the only allusion to any of the reasons why he is no longer the face of the podcast distribution channel that he made with his best friend. It's why he never posts on his main channel anymore. Why, like, he has been cut out from so many. He's going to be fine. He's like, he went to Duke. He knows about investing. Man's going to be rich forever. But it's like, he's done. Like, I mean, it's just, you can't come back from having sex with a child, and I don't think you should, frankly. So, but
hot take from Ellie,
very hot take from me. Yes.
The YouTube manosphere.
Yeah. Oh my God! Speaking of which, did you hear Andrew Tate is now back in the States?
Yeah.
And Trump's like, oh, I didn't know he'd do that. He was like going for his release, and then he was released, immediately fled to the US. And Trump was like, oh, that's weird. Shocking.
That was crazy.
It's like it probably happened during your fucking
I thought
6-hour nap.
He let him return.
Well, I'm sure he did, but at least when the public approached him about it, he feigned ignorance.
That's because everyone hates Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
Other than incels on the internet. I don't think... I am worried for what Andrew Tate will do, but I don't think he'll ever have the platform he had. He's pro-rape.
Yeah.
How can you be pro-rape?
I don't know. Andrew Tate, call in. Let us know.
Actually, don't.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, but anyway, to nicer topics. Because there's no one I want to give less attention to than Andrew Tate.
More than fair. Yeah.
Any tales? That was my big
your big realization.
Yeah.
I just picture you like at your lunch break and like just like thinking your little Nina thoughts and being like, I've cracked it.
No, I was drying my hair.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, write that down right now.
Maddie Healy drunkenly stumbled so Tucker could run.
Exactly, you get it.
I do. That was a cool take. I like that. I wouldn't have thought of it, but I actually do very much agree with it.
Thank you.
Wholeheartedly. I've had no thoughts the past 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
None. I think it was an hour after we stopped recording our return episode, our big "We're Back" episode. My body tried to kill me.
It's true.
They were like, "You're back." To the ground you go. Die. Drop. Literally drop dead. I was boarding a dog, and I went to take this dog out for the little walk shortly after we stopped recording because I was like, he must have to pee. And he did. And as he's walking, I'm feeling a little funky. I'm feeling weird. I got stomach cramps. I'm like, what's going on? Did I eat something weird? What's happening? And I'm like, sorry if this is graphic. Maybe if you guys don't like stories about bodily fluids, just keep scrolling. And then if you hear a bodily fluid, just keep scrolling again. It's the only thing I can really say. I don't know when it's gonna show up in the editing process. So just, trigger warning and all that. Do what's right for you. So anyway, that aside, disclaimers aside, I think maybe I just gotta poop, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just like...
That was such a preamble for poop.
Yeah, well, because it's just wait, honey. I think it's poop. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like these weird, wacky times where like I have to go number 2. And so I'm walking up the stairs to my apartment and I'm just feeling worse and worse and worse. I open my apartment door to go and I like take the leash off of him. I take off my coat. I open the door to go to the bathroom. And I projectile vomit all over myself. All over the bathroom. All over my pajamas. I'm wearing my sweatshirt that has the cat with the little clown hat on it that says, no one knows what I've been through, 2 tummy aches in a day. As there's vomit on it. Like, it was poetic. It was absolutely poetic. All over the floor. And I do what any 25-year-old who lives alone would do. I immediately start crying. I don't know what happened. Like, I thought I was just gonna poop, and I exploded in a different way. That's unwelcome. It also should be known that I have a metaphobia. I don't care when other people throw up. When I throw up, unacceptable. It's fucking demonic.
The whole thing.
There are always tears. There is never peace. It's just
often anxiety attacks.
Oh my God. And this one was rare because normally the panic attack happens before throwing up. This one happened after I threw up.
Because you didn't even know you were gonna.
I didn't even know that I was gonna. And then when I did, I was like, what the fuck was that?
That's worth panicking about.
Yeah. And my partner and I have a very specific sleepover schedule. It's almost like custody, but it's just, he lives kind of far away. So it's what works for his work schedule. Because I'm at work right now. I sit in this stupid little chair and I type away and I do dumb little things. And
And I
this
never
was,
leave my home.
and I never leave my house. It's amazing. Wouldn't change it for the world. Except I would change it 2 weeks ago because that was fucking terrifying. So
So he
this
wasn't
was
there?
this was not the night that he was going to sleep over. Poetically, it wasn't. So I call him in tears. And he does a great job of calming me down, talking me through it. He's like, there's probably something you ate, probably poison. Your body did what it needed to do. He's like, throw up is a good thing in a lot of ways because it gets rid of the bad thing in your body. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. And so we hang up because he has a 5:30 client the next morning. So he's got to go to bed. And now I'm alone in my apartment. I'm starting to get nervous again. It's kind of like you're like,
Had you cleaned up the bathroom?
yes,
point?
yes. I cleaned it up while I was on the phone with him.
Mm.
And I just was not feeling good. Again, I was like, my stomach still feels weird. Like the relief of like vomiting that always kind of comes and it's like euphoric. It didn't happen. So I was just like kind of on edge. And then about an hour later, I threw up again. And then I was like, I'm just going to shower. I threw up in the shower. I was like, I'm going to put my pajamas on. Threw up right after that. I was throwing up every 20 to 30 minutes for the entire night.
Lord.
By the time I hit vomit number 10 around 2:30, because I was waking up every 20 minutes to go throw up. And by the time we hit number 10, I was like, I feel like something is wrong. I feel like there is no poison. Maybe the poison is me. So I call my mom at 2:30, which my mother, to give her credit, she is always on it. I called her at 2:30 and she was like, yeah, what? Like she knew. She immediately knew. She was ready. She's like got SWAT on speed dial just in case. Like, and I had told her that I had thrown up and she was like, oh, okay. And then I told her we had hit 10 times and she was like, yeah, that's not great. That's for sure bad. And we kind of deduced that it was probably like, I've heard it's either norovirus or rotavirus. Kids are more prone to getting it. And it's essentially like a 24-hour like stomach virus bug type thing.
Did you like feel sick any other way? Or was it just your stomach? Like head, cold, chills, you know?
It was literally just vomit. Yeah. I didn't have a fever.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sweating profusely,
Yeah.
but it was like the symptoms associated with like vomiting of like the head rush and the sweating and the heart rate spike and all that. So then I basically like my doctor's office has like a chat little like element to it. Basically to just be like, hey, am I dead or dying? Do I need to come in? And then your doctor can either be like, nah, you're good, or yes, my God, come.
Yeah.
And so I filled out the symptoms and they were like, we don't think you really need to come in because there's not really anything we can do, but we'll give you a prescription for Zofran, which I already fucking have. Zofran is an anti-vomiting, anti-nausea medication.
Yeah. Why do you have that?
I have it for panic attacks associated with nausea and so they gave me the prescription and I still up until that point had not taken it because I do believe, as was, you know, constantly brought to my attention during the first time I threw up, that you're supposed to throw up if you have to.
Yeah.
And so I don't feel fully comfortable with it in the sense of like I don't want to take it at the first sight of nausea because either it's just a fluke and it'll pass or maybe I actually need to and therefore should. But come, you know, 9 a.m. we've hit 14 times.
Good Lord.
So I was like, I have to take it. Like, I'm in my bed. It's President's Day, which I do not think is a coincidence. Literally, I take it, and it's a like you put it under your tongue and it dissolves. when it's fruit flavored. I was like, as a fellow fruit, I'm offended. And oh my God, it was dissolving. And I was sitting on my bed. My cat was like right next to me. And I was literally going, help. Help. That was when I was glad that I live alone, because there are things like I'm very excited for this next chapter of my life. I'm very excited to like end the day every day with someone who I love. There are some things that I am scared for him to see and don't want him to like ever see ever. He still doesn't think that I poop.
He definitely knows.
And he never will find out.
He knows.
Never. He'll never. He only knows in the sense of he knows that it is physically impossible for a human who is alive to not poop. That is the only evidence he has that maybe I'm up to something.
There's going to come a day where you're going to be in the bathroom.
Nope.
And he's going to come in.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lock that bitch. Are you serious?
You're going to forget.
I'm not going to forget.
There's going to come a time you'll forget. It'll be years from now.
I'm not going to forget. I'm telling you.
I can't wait for the text.
No. I'm a precious lady.
This is just going to be like day to day, going about your business, and you're going to be distracted and you're going to forget.
I feel like you are woefully unaware of the lengths that I will go to hide this secret that I have.
He's going to like announce to you that he's pooping.
That he's pooping?
Yeah.
You think he doesn't do that now?
Why can't you be equals? Why can't he know?
We're equals. It's all feminism. It's just I am a dainty little lady who does not poop.
It's just not true.
And that is all he needs to know. And that is all he knows, apart from what he can Google.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm glad this happened when I was living alone. But yeah, so I took the anti-vomiting medicine because I was like,
in the grossest way possible,
in a horrible prescribed way.
Take meds like that.
Yeah, no, disappointing and godless is the way that I would describe that experience. But so I did not throw up again for the rest.
Yeah, it works.
It was great, and I gotta say, I am the luckiest girl in the world because also. Very weird and creepy coincidence. The night that I was throwing up, my dad was in Florida on a business trip, and he fucking got food poisoning and was throwing up all night. The same night. He called my mom in the morning, and my mom was like, dear God, what's going on? Everyone's dropping like flies. And so my dad found out that I wasn't feeling well, called me to check in, and then called my aunt, his sister, to tell her. And then my aunt was in DC for work. And so she flew back to Boston from DC and immediately went to my apartment to go check on me.
It
was so nice. And so my building does not have an elevator. It's like I'm still not used to it. Massive flights of stairs. And going down to let her in. Because, of course, I don't have a fucking buzzer either. Why would I have that privilege? But so going down the stairs. Yeah. Going down the stairs to let her in and then walking back up the stairs. In addition to being horrifyingly embarrassing, because I was just like, oh my God, what's the turtle's name in Kung Fu Panda when he's blowing out the candles? Master Shifu?
Master Shifu.
Or is that that's the little guy?
Yang?
I hope so.
I think so. Actually, no, I think so.
Oh, okay. Otherwise, what a crazy conclusion jump to there. It's not.
It's Oogway.
Okay, the only defense you have is Oogway's a crazy guess.
It's a crazy guess.
It is.
And I was more likely to be correct.
my god.
Not for me.
Anyway, I felt like Master Oogway, like blowing out the candles, climbing up these steps. I felt ancient. I felt like I had a turtle shell on my back. And the only difference is I know no kung fu, none.
Yeah.
So
And he's a grandmaster.
right. So I have infinitely less wisdom and experience than he could ever than I could ever in comparison to
He
him.
could ever.
He could ever.
I have less than he could ever not have.
Precisely. And so I let my aunt into my apartment. I offer her a drink of water. And then literally that trek up the stairs, which though still difficult, I've done hundreds of times now. I was like, I actually have to lie down because I'm going to throw up if I keep standing here. So I went to bed and I put on Ponyo. Oh my God. An enchanting life-saving story. And I literally just slept. Like honestly, like, this is partially why I'm also looking forward to sharing a space with someone again, is just knowing that there was someone like in the living room outside my bedroom was so comforting, brought such massive amounts of relief that I went to sleep immediately because I was like, someone will find the body. Someone's out there. So are you writing an apology speech for calling Master Oogway Master Yang? What's going on?
No. I was looking up what character in Kung Fu Panda is named Yang. Not even close.
There's none.
No, there is one. There is one. It's not even close to the tortoise.
Which one is it?
It's a pig who is in a fan club for the Kung Fu Panda.
Oh, I see.
In one of the later movies, which I watched more recently.
Okay,
with my nieces and nephews.
It was
doesn't save it.
It was a mix-up of characters for you.
It doesn't save it for sure. You can try.
I'm just trying to be a supportive friend.
I appreciate that. I'll own this.
That's fair.
So you had someone outside.
I had someone outside. It was really nice. Yes. And then after my partner was done with work for the day, he came by fully masked to the nines. I thought an intruder was, and I don't blame him because like maybe it could have been contagious. And, yeah. So, and but he straight up, because his work attire is all black and then his face mask was black.
Oh God.
So I literally woke up to him like standing over me and I was like, because I can't defend myself even when I'm healthy, let alone in this fucking state. So I was like, all right, if this is the end, then this is the end. But God, what a way to go. Is my aunt okay? She was fine. This is the person she's passed, supervision onto.
Yeah.
And so we watched just so many Studio Ghibli movies.
Oh, that's fun.
It was really nice. And like, honestly, like having someone there, I fell right to sleep. And it was like all the cozy ones, like My Neighbor Totoro, Kiki's Delivery Service, Whisper of the Heart, which is one of my faves. Ashley Tisdale's in that. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
But yeah, and so those were my saving graces. Zofran, Studio Ghibli, Gatorade, Saltines, and Good Pals.
Good Pals.
That's what it was. But
he's alive again.
Yeah, and it really was, and what made it deduce that it was norovirus, which honestly, despite a harrowing experience, was relieving, was people saying like it's a 24-hour bug. When it's done, it's done. You will think you're dying. Like, you will fully believe that this is the end. Like, that is how bad you will feel. And they were absolutely right. Let me tell you.
Can confirm.
Truly thought death was not. I thought, like, I genuinely, when it was maybe like the 8th or 9th time I was throwing up, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, because we were now past the point where we were like, this is normal. Like, it's not normal how often you're getting sick. And and so 8th or 9th time I was like, what if I die alone? Literally,
the cat starts to eat
you. Yeah, and she fucking would too.
Yeah,
she'd be like, you didn't feed me. Fine, they'll never be able to identify you.
There are some people who, like, when you start throwing up, you can't stop. Something about the, like, reflex, like, they can't stop. Like Jessie, my sister, sometimes
really?
like that. And when we were little, her and Alexa got sick, and they both threw up, like, 13 times.
Yeah, that's wild.
I don't know. It's just, like, something that, like, once they start, they can't stop.
Yeah.
They'd have to... It was basically something like the Zofran thing you took, but, like, an over-the-counter. Just, like, a liquid.
Oh yeah, I used to buy those. It starts with an E. It's like cherry flavored. Yeah, yeah. I know. My Pepto has always been my friend. I took Pepto Bismol then, and the virus was like, "Nice try, fucking idiot." Yeah, there it is. Yeah, you can see it again in your fucking toilet, dumbass.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's when I was like, okay, maybe this is something else.
Maybe this is serious.
I might need a prescription for this. But it happened for my trip to Ireland, so that was good. Stealing your thunder, you went to Ireland last March, and now I'm going to Ireland this March.
Perfect.
That was right around the time we stopped the podcast too.
It is.
Yes. Well, hopefully the podcast will continue on, and that I won't crash and die on an airplane.
Fingers crossed. I think you'll be fine.
Hope so. I don't think I'm flying any American-based airlines, which I'm pretty grateful for. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it's all just, I mean, as far as I've seen, there's not any more plane accidents than there ever have been. It's just that now the news is on it. So you're seeing more of it. Doesn't make that less scary, but...
No, I think it is a combination of that and also, like, how many have happened in such a short period of time. And the fact that they're not, like, private mini planes. They're, like, commercial jets.
Yeah.
That is what has made me be like, can we renew the prescription on hydroxyzine really quick before I leave? Thank you. Because then, if we crash and burn, I'll be asleep.
Yeah. And you'll be like, I can just die.
Yeah.
Partner can have to carry me out for us to live while you're zonked out on meds.
True. Wouldn't be the first time either. Fucking useless bitch for him. Poor guy. Man's life work literally revolves around progress, and I'm just sitting there like...
And he's like,
come on! Just eat one vegetable, I beg of you. I'm like, no.
Thank you.
Well, gross. Don't want that. I mean,
Well,
I had
you'll
some
have fun in Ireland.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. I haven't been in almost a decade. I'm sure it's not going to look that different. No. But I'm thrilled.
The people there probably won't even.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kept the same hairstyle.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And we're also going to Scotland, which is where my grandmother's from. And it has been my life dream to go to Scotland for years.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of that.
I'm super stoked. And we're going to go hiking. So the lead up to this, because some of the hiking trails that we're looking at and planning to do are like quite long. They're like 5 to 6 miles.
So that's why you've been doing these hikes.
That's why I've been doing these hikes. Yes.
You have nice boots.
I have about 2 months into dating my partner, I bought hiking boots because my partner is a fitness trainer. So very outdoorsy guy, loves outdoor activities. I love a shaded chair with like an umbrella attachment on the beach,
A good 70
Oh my god! It's like an Alien sequel. What is going on with you this week? We are trying to get through an episode, and you are gurgling and being racist left.
It was an
accident. Are you okay? Do you feel fine? We were just talking about throwing up, so I'm worried.
It's a weird throat noise. I can't explain it. It just happened.
I just picture like the chest burster alien going like your chest. That's what I was worried about. Oh, Oh my God, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm so sorry you heard that. I was hoping that you didn't, and I could skip right past it.
No, the mic's too good. No wonder you pushed it off to the last possible second. You're like, I don't want the listeners to hear me digesting. My God.
Yeah.
Sounds like a war zone in there.
I don't even remember what I was saying.
I don't either, but I thought it was going to be a witty remark, and then it was rudely interrupted by fucking Alien Covenant. Yeah. So, but yes, I do like hiking a lot. And it does have very much a lot to do with the fact that it's shaded away from the sun to get the sun away from me.
That's true.
But hiking in the winter is very beautiful. Lots of snow. It's like a winter wonderland.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really good to get your feet wet in that sense because you're kind of dealing with more resistance to snow. So, but anyway, we have been doing like one longer form hike a week to prepare because I'm out of shape. It's winter, and I've been hibernating in the way that all winter folk do. And
She's a Northeasterner.
Yes, and I don't want to go on our trip and go on these hikes and not be able to do them. Not that he would ever make me feel any shame for that, but like this is a vacation for him too. So it was very important to me that I would be physically able to do them. Yeah. And it would be something that we could do together and that we could see through and he could see the views, all that stuff, etc. And so anyway, so we've been doing some ones with like steeper incline. And last week, he was like, we should go snowshoeing. I was like, oh my God, I've never been snowshoeing. That sounds so fun. Little poles, little trots. Yeah. Love it. Amazing. So we drove over 2 hours north. We went to New Hampshire. And it was this ski mountain. And the elevation total was like 4,000 feet. It was like 4,100 feet or something like that. And I knew it was going to be hard. Like, I was fully aware that I was going to have difficulty with this. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so we were carrying our snowshoes. And then we also had our micro spikes, which are these little like it's basically like cleats that you can attach to your shoes. They help you like go through the ice and stuff. And then it's nice because you don't have to buy like a special pair of shoes. You can just attach your micro spikes to it. So we had those and we were going through the snow and it was like getting steeper and steeper. And I texted you what I did, but I'm going to say it on the episode because I thought it was great. I'm hitting my inhaler like it's a jewel. Like I'm just like, just... And, you know, I mean, he's a fitness trainer, my partner. So he's like deep breaths and I'm like, like I'm about to birth a watermelon. Like it's just nothing appealing at all. And he's like at the top, like barely broken a sweat. Yeah. He's like, you can do it. And I mean, he was stopping every 2 minutes, pretending to like check something on his phone so I could catch up. Like, you're like, yeah, just fully staging anything to make it seem like I organically caught up to him. And also, he was like, I don't think we should put on the snowshoes on the way up because the trail's kind of narrow and the snowshoes are going to be, you know, it's going to be more weight on your legs to like lift them. And in my head, I'm like, do you know how heavy the platform sneakers I wear are? True. This is like fucking nothing. This would be child's play. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing with snowshoes is, of course, I don't know the term, but they have this like metal bar at the heel that you can flip up. It's like it goes down and you can flip it up and it helps level your foot when you're walking up very steep inclines. So that way it's not as big of a strain on your calves. It's like, it feels like a little more of a flatter terrain. Yeah. But I wasn't wearing the snowshoes because he was like, I don't think we should put them on just yet. I don't think we should put them on the way up. And also too, like snowshoes are also really good when the snow is not like compacted down. It's to like help basically distribute your weight evenly across snow that's like deep and fluffy. So that way you don't like sink as aggressively. Mm-hmm. So it made sense. He obviously knows infinitely more information about this than I do. But so then, in addition to not having the snowshoes, having the full elevation toll on my calves, and then I'm fucking carrying my snowshoes on my back. I'm also not allowed to be mad at him because he offered maybe 30 times to carry my snowshoes, which would mean that he would be carrying my snacks, my water, my wallet, and then my snowshoes, and then all of his shit. So I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll carry this because I also need an excuse for why I was going so slow. Again, Master Oogway just... I did not look like a 25-year-old going up that hill. It literally...
he's backpacking with his grandma.
Literally, yeah. Yeah. They were like, we love age gap relationships. And I was like, it's not what you think.
The other way.
It's the other way. But we got to the top and the view was beautiful. And it was a great moment for me because I was like, oh my God, I can do things. That's nice. And then we put on our snowshoes to go down because the snowshoes obviously have bigger teeth, so you wouldn't like slip.
Yeah.
I think we made it down in like 45 minutes. I was fucking
so much easier.
Tracking. Yeah. The only issue that happened was it was 10 degrees Fahrenheit at the bottom of the mountain. So when we got to the top, we were pretty tired, and my toes were numb. Like, fully could not feel them. Like, took a step forward, and I was just picturing that guy in Pirates of the Caribbean 3 when they're really cold on that ship and he's like touching his foot to like help get blood flow, and then his big toe just like falls off in his hand and he's like, do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, okay. It's that I felt like that guy. And I used to snowboard, so I'm familiar with this feeling, but I was also like aware of like, okay, we need to start like moving again because I need to get blood flow back into my toes.
Yeah.
And as we were walking down, because I was moving again, I was starting to get blood back into my feet. But I remember that after your toes have been numb for a certain period of time and blood starts to go back in them, it fucking hurts. Yeah. Hurts like a bitch. When I used to do like it was like competition snowboarding.
Yeah.
I used to like lay on the floor scream crying because it hurt so badly.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was 10. So, like, my threshold of pain was, like, period cramp? What's that? That just sounds like a grammar error. I obviously didn't cry, but I was, like, every step I took, it was, like, needles. Like, it was... And then and you feel the blood going back into the extremities, and it's just like, I wish you stayed. I wish you stayed away. And then after... it like finally comes, although my toes admittedly are still tingling today, like they're still a little tingling. I think they're a little in shock, but I obviously was slowing down a little bit, and my partner is like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, the blood's just going back into my toes and it's like it's hurting. And he was like, okay, like we'll slow up a little bit. And then like 2 minutes go by and he's like, and I'm like, and he's like, I'm feeling what you're talking about. And in my head, I'm immediately like, my God, the pain threshold of men is just like he could have run up that mountain in maybe 45 minutes, but then like the blood going back to his toes, he's like, I'm like, breathe through the contractions. It's okay.
I think it's okay.
You're good. You're good.
Like it's a little uncomfortable.
Yeah. It hurt. But yeah, that was my 2 weeks of near-death experiences. And that's why I got health insurance.
Yeah. Risks in the home and risks out of the home.
True. It's not a fun life when you don't have both.
True.
Yeah.
I also had blood returning back to my body this weekend, but it was because I gave plasma.
What a fascinating transition. So I don't know how that works. Do they take the blood out? They take the plasma out? They give you the blood back? Mm-hmm. They're like, no give backs.
You have 2 IVs. One in like my arm at the elbow. Takes it out. But then you can't move that arm like at all. You can't move it at all, obviously, because the IV.
Yeah.
They take it out. They take the blood out. It's a bigger needle.
Yeah.
Take plasma and platelets. Separate them from the red blood cells. And then there's another IV going back into your other arm. And
they give the blood back.
They just put the red blood cells back. They keep the plasma and the platelets.
So because you're getting the blood back, do you not feel like lightheaded or faint at all? Because
You do a little bit because they are taking the plasma and the platelets out. You do recover faster than giving blood. If you were to just regularly give blood, it takes like 24 to 48 hours to recover fully, like your body.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get lightheaded. It depends on what you ate ahead of time.
Yeah.
And like how you prepared for it and then what you did after. That one's like pretty up in the air. But you recover within like 24 hours.
Gotcha.
Physically. But when you give blood, it takes longer because they take everything out.
Yeah. Has it been over a year since you've gotten a tattoo?
No, you only have to wait 3 months now.
Oh, I thought it was a full year.
I think it used to be, but it's not anymore. They say 3 months.
They were like, we really need that blood. So,
and also all blood gets tested anyway.
Oh,
and I think we learned more about cell regeneration and and what it does, and your body regenerates quicker than they previously thought.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So yeah, it's only 3 months actually nowadays. So I gave the plasma. It took 2 hours. It is a long experience.
Wow.
I watched an entire movie.
Wow. I was just about to ask, did you like bring a book? But I guess you can't like.
I wanted to read, and I've read in the past, but the woman recommended I don't, and she was like, maybe you can just like flip back and forth. But then she started telling me stories of these guys who would come in. There was this one guy who was like an engineer, and he would bring in his laptop, and he would like work on his laptop while giving plasma. So the IV that takes the blood out is in your elbow. The one that's putting it back in is in your hand. Do you see that little?
Yes.
So that you can move your arm around if you need, because they have like a TV, so you can change, like they have Netflix, so you can like change to watch something else. You can do like little movements. This guy's working on his laptop, like extending his hand.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't stop. And she told him, she was like, you can do small movements, but you shouldn't. And he would come over, he would like call her over because his hand hurt, swollen. She said it would be like out to like here.
No.
And I was like, huh. And she would have to take it out and redo it. Like she did it up in his arm a little bit. And she was like, okay, do what I said. Like, don't move it that much. He would go back doing the same thing.
For the love of God.
Again. So she had to put it up in his arm, and now he's just stuck, like both arms out.
Like a scarecrow.
Because you can't bend the elbow. Right. Like I told you. And then she told me she tells men when they go to sit down, take their phone out of their pocket, because men mostly put their phone in their front pocket. And she was like, take it out of your pocket, because if someone calls you and you reach in with that needle in your hand into the pocket.
Right.
She was like, and those pockets in the front, like they get tight when you sit. So she tells guys, like, take your phone out beforehand.
Yeah.
And this one guy was like, oh, no one's going to call me while I'm here. Like, it's fine. And she was talking to me, and she was like, guess what happened? So he gets a call immediately without thinking, reaches in, shoves the hand with the needle.
Oh, God.
So she freaked me out with those stories, so I didn't read.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I watched Anyone But You.
Oh, how was that?
You would not like it. It was fine, like, to watch while I was doing that.
Oh man, if you thought it was fine, you're right. I would have hated it.
It was worse than I expected.
No,
and I love those actors.
I know, and you love
Great
those types of movies.
Yeah, and I love it. I like those kinds of movies, and I like when they like play into the rom-com genre and like they know what they are. They're not pretending to be some intense drama or something like that. Like it's just a fun movie.
Totally.
It was like weirdly raunchy in like a weird way.
Interesting.
Like Glenn Powell's character hates spiders. They're in Australia. Right. She finds a spider like on his back. He freaks out, takes all of his clothes off. And then he's just naked there. And then he says he can feel another, and like spiders hunt in packs. You have to find it. I can feel it. And he like bends over, and she has to like look into his ass and like reach to like find it. And they were trying to be funny, but I was just like, they're not doing what they're trying to do.
Right. When it feels that forced and it's not
That's
clever.
What it was. Yeah. So no, I wouldn't recommend it to you. It got a lot of hype because great cast.
And they marketed it so geniusly, where they had us all thinking that Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney were fucking. Yeah. I think that's our show for this week.
That's all.
That's all, folks. We will be having an episode that will air the week that I am in Ireland, but it will probably be recorded within the next few days because I will be in Europe. So I obviously will not be available to speak to this creature.
We will have minimum content of our own lives, but
Sure.
I am sure we will have opinions about things to talk about.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Tune in next time, and thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Bye!